Silent of goal! Liquid are doing it! They're gonna take it! He's gonna bring down Fnatic. Resolve with a double kill. Dropping fast. Final point's there. He's still alive! Wait, 2 seconds left. He's got 1 sub. He's got a second. He's taking it out. Oh my god! On 3! They're all dead!
Howdy. Welcome back to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. Our European action will wrap up one more best of one. Ben, this is going to be NaVi versus Fnatic. NaVi 1-0. Looked pretty good earlier against KPG. And Fnatic 2-1. So should be a decent match. The draft is well underway. We hop into it right as the second phase of picks complete. First phase of picks. Second pick, I should say, completes. And Ben, the thing that I'm noticing here is that Arise Magnus respect ban. First phase.
That thing's scary, man.
He is a beast.
He is quite the beast. Him and S4. Best Magnus's EU. Best Magni.
If you had to pick one, who
I would
it
say
be?
S4.
Okay. Just because of the track record, or?
The track record, consistency, and he plays against a lot tougher opponents. Arise hasn't been on a T1 team for, like, the past year and a half, like S4 has. Also, Arise uses Force Staff. Not that it's cheating, it's just different.
Yeah, he is interesting with his mag. He doesn't normally rush the refresher or BKB. It's like always well, I guess sometimes treads nowadays, but usually arcane blink force.
He loves the Force Staff. He like blinks forces and skewers
and
back.
Then somehow like turns while he's like force staffing.
It seems really hard to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
He does pull it off pretty consistently though. So, all right. Well, enough about Rise Mag because it is banned. And our Ogre
Magi, he is
stock rising. He's either been picked or banned in most games lately.
Yeah, he's all right. I still don't think he's amazing, but he doesn't really fall off late game, which is I guess one of the reasons why people like him as a support so much. And of course, Bloodlust. Even if you die, you're still useful. Hopefully.
Oh, by the way, there was a 6.82C patch which just dropped. Not sure if you saw that yet.
I saw.
So we won't go through all the changes, but just some quick highlights for those who didn't know. Buyback cooldown has increased from 6 to 7 minutes. You get less gold and experience. Basically, the rubber band is even less taut now. Don't need to go over the exact numbers. Mystic Flare takes a bit longer to do its damage, up to 2.4 seconds. Agency cooldown's longer. Death Prophet got the nerf hammer hard. Trying to see anything else of relevance.
Primal Split that's fair.
Omni-Knight got severely nerfed. Guardian Angel no longer provides HP regen.
Well, it didn't really provide that much to begin with.
It was really? I thought it was pretty substantial. It's like a couple hundred points per hero, right?
No, not that much. In Dota 1, it was because like 999999 armor wouldn't mitigate all the damage. Because
but it's coded properly in Dota 2, so it does.
Yeah.
How much is it?
It's not that much. I would probably if I had to say a number, I would say it's like 10 HP a second. I guess maybe around 100, but it's fairly minimal, and it was just to compensate for the lack that you couldn't actually make things physically.
So you take like that
Dota
1 point of damage every time. Okay. Also, Razor got nerfed more.
Good.
Terrorblade got
he got hit the hardest.
And the nerf here, Sunder cast range is better, but you don't actually interrupt anything, and your Metamorphosis moves 25 ms slower, and your illusions take 125% additional damage, which is a pretty damn big nerf to the illusions.
And Sunder no longer interrupts TPs, which is pretty big.
Yeah, now he has no way to cancel TPs.
Well, it's BKB too.
Yeah.
And then Spectre nerf, but I think Terribly actually got hit the hardest of anyone.
Yeah, Death Prophet got hit fairly hard. The nuke is 25 less damage at all levels, which especially at level 1 can
Oh, not at level 4 though.
Oh, at level 4.
It'll force people just to go 4-0-4-1-3 instead of 3-0-3, or
it's 3-0-4. Yeah.
People used to go 3-0-4. I think 4-0-3s. Personally, I think it's better, but it doesn't affect the build that much.
Yeah, because before it was like the jump up on the 4th point of Cryptstorm was only 50 damage instead of 75. So it also just fixes the scaling with the ability. They still need to fix that Shoryuken though, that's for sure. All right, so back to the draft anyway. I just wanted to give a quick rundown. We'll see a Doom ban, Silencer, and Quap removed by Fnatic. And, well, Vangscore Silencer is pretty good, although I feel like the most success I've seen teams have with Silencer lately has actually been in the core role, not as a support, and it's not something Navi has run too often.
He's alright. I'm curious about the Doom ban though, because I don't know if Fnatic runs it that often, but Doom was not touched at all recently, in terms of tournament picks, and it's definitely not good versus Batrider or versus Treant Protector. So, well, at least not versus those two heroes in particular, but maybe they're picking up something that's a little bit more finesse oriented.
Yeah, Doom has just been. I feel like a lot of these heroes that used to just like retreat to their jungle and AFK farm if they can't get much out of the lane have just been. They've just been punished by the rune spawns in a lot of ways. Like, you do have to be active. I have seen active jungle Dooms, but you can't just AFK farm, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's an easy way to lose the early game.
Yeah. And the roaming Dooms have been very hit or miss. A lot of it comes down to the creeps they get. Fnatic go with the Wombo combo, though. That good old Darkseer Jakiro duo and the vacuum into the Ice Path. Void and Mag were already banned, which are really the two heroes that would synergize best with this, but
They actually don't have that great protection for the Brewmaster. Like, let's say he gets lassoed. They don't... Like, Skywrath is not very good versus Batrider. Not
you can't really
amazing
Ice
either.
Path that.
Yeah, Ice Path is too slow. Darkseer, like, maybe he has a Blink Dagger, but he's also a very prime Batrider pull target, too. So...
They also have nothing on BKB, which is probably the way that NaVi will be headed eventually here with the Dendi Shadow Fiend picked up. What are your thoughts on Shadow Fiend now? Because I know he's one of your favorite heroes, and he's been buffed a decent amount recently.
Well, I'd say he's mostly been buffed because the other heroes have been nerfed a lot. Like, Death Prophet will generally just, like, wreck him because he can't stand toe-to-toe against the Ghost. Razor's
been nerfed hard.
Viper also is nerfed pretty hard, too. So I'd say a lot of his very difficult matchups in the mid lane have been severely nerfed. And some of the very popular roamers, too, like Skywrath, has also picked a little bit left off. And he's also not that great versus Panda. Like, Panda just... Like, Shadow Fiend can't do anything versus him until he gets
once he gets
BKB.
level 6, if he ever gets on you with the clap, you're just dead.
Yeah, so it's alright, though. They have Treant Protector to protect him, and Jakiro's not an amazing roamer.
His early levels of Necromaster also have higher soul caps, so I'm wondering if we're going to see any Shadow Fiends just, like, maybe take a value point in presence of the Dark Lord. Maybe not this game, they don't really have any synergy with it, but I could see it in some drafts.
He's also much better on Radiant, and he also provides a very nice mix of damage. It's
a lot of magic, but still a lot of right-click as well. Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know, he is very, very weak to, like, Skywrath. Skywrath will just usually poop on him.
Skywrath fucks on him,
yeah,
for sure.
Most of the game.
Yeah, well, maybe that's where Dondo will get his Blink Dagger right away. Fnatic will go for the Weaver. This is a very aggressive lineup for Fnatic. A lot of tower divers, a lot of tanky heroes on the front lines, in the Darkseer Brew. Nobody that really scales super hard in the late game, outside of potentially that Darkseer.
They're looking to roam a lot. Weaver's one of the few heroes that's completely self-sufficient versus Batrider, because Napalm doesn't really affect his move speed at all. So I think they're just looking to start off with Jakiro and Sky up top, and then just roam around and try and kill the Shadow Fiend. So a lot of the other carries, like let's say Spectre, would just get demolished by a Batrider in a one-on-one matchup.
Yeah, that's for sure. But Weaver is very independent. And we see a Bristleback as the last pick, so... Interesting for Navi. This does give them a mech builder. I guess that's the main thing, is they didn't really have anyone to build it, and it's still... Well, I assume they're going to get one. Could be that Crimson Guard.
Fnatic have...
But without it, they're really going to struggle to take these team fights.
They don't really have anything versus a Bristleback either. Darkseer's decent at stopping his farm in the early game, rather slowing his farm, but...
They do have Skywrath, though. Although
I mean,
weaker Skywrath.
These
now.
are all, like... He just turns around. Like, Jakiro, his cast point is, like, fairly long. Ice Path takes a little bit of time to shoot out, and Skywrath, he has a lot of travel time, too. So he can turn around versus most of these threats, as opposed to something like a Sand King or even Faceless Void, who can just chrono him and turn around really fast. So I think Bristleback will actually have a pretty good time this game.
Okay. Well, let's see how Havos does. It's certainly the aggressive type of hero that he loves to play. You got to be up in their faces with this one.
You also have to have something in front of the Shadow Fiend. You can't have like another
Batrider in front. Yeah.
You can't have him like Shadow Fiend plus like I don't know like Luna or something like that. Gyro, the weaker agility heroes.
You need a tank.
You need someone in front. Yeah. And he also has more minus armor too. They can take out Roshan fairly easily if they ever get the opportunity. So I like the BB pickup.
Yeah, it's an ancient rule of thumb from World of Warcraft. You know, when you're going for those raid bosses, you gotta have it. All right. Oh Jesus, these. Man, Cuddle Guy needs new glasses, I'll tell you.
Hey, it's nice. You don't miss the action.
You also can't see the action sometimes. All right, let's run through our drafts here. We might have a little engagement top lane. Doesn't look like it, but yeah. On the dire side is Team Fnatic. Come with me, the Darkseer. We'll have Ryze supporting him on the Skywrath Mage. That puts Hani on the Weaver. Ward already dropped 2 in the off lane. That was placed by Ace, who appears to be a solo off lane Jakiro for now. Normally we see him more in the dual lanes. Arise, your Brewmaster, and for NaVi, of course, their opponents. 1-0 so far in the Summit 2. We've got Fnatic on the Batrider. That puts Dendi with the Arcana. Nice to see that on the Shadow Fiend.
That Arcana's sick.
It really is. FNG, the Treant Protector, Havos, the Bristleback, and Vangscore, the Bane. It's one of the best Arcanas in the game. I actually didn't like the concept art when I saw it, but they've been implemented well. I still don't really like the new Shadow Rays animation, but that's not really an issue with the Arcana. It's like waves his arm and then like a raise appears later. I don't know. Doesn't feel fluid.
This is cool from Fnatic. You don't see this very often. He used Firefly to cut down these trees earlier, so he can get better vision of where the supports are at all times, and he won't get fogged. Batrider already has very limited vision in the daytime compared to almost any other hero in Dota.
What is his AoE?
It's like 1400, I think. And
okay.
Everyone else is 1800, or almost everyone else. Like not Night Stalker, but for the most part, it's 1800.
And he has normal nighttime vision, right?
I don't remember. They tweaked it a little bit, but it's fairly normal. It's normal enough.
Normal-ish. Okay. So mid lane, we will see Dendi getting the better early block here. He'll be able to last it under tower. And he's actually gone for the raises level 1. It's something that we saw Arteezy started to do a lot, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. And I guess the idea is basically you just secure your bottle early on. And you can catch up in souls a bit later.
I mean, the difference in the time that you're level 1 is very, very little, so it doesn't make that big of a difference.
It's just a one wave.
Yeah, it's commonly seen in the TA matchup, but versus Panda, I don't think Panda's that difficult of a matchup in terms of being able to last it.
Yeah, Dendi does have that bottle now, though, so at the very least, he'll be able to regen and...
Uh-oh, Batrider.
Yeah, he's not having fun here. What's Ryze gone for? It's an early point Arcane Bolt. No Concussive, so not too much kill potential yet, but that could change, and they are running a 4-position Darkseer in the jungle. I mentioned the Jakiro off lane, but I wasn't sure Come With Me would actually stay here. It's something we just don't see much of anymore.
Yeah, I fully expected a Jakiro on top lane.
Well, do you think it's going to work? So far, the Jakiro's doing okay bottom.
Yeah, it looks okay.
It's a pretty weak killing lane. Like, sleep into what? Leech Seed, I guess?
I mean, if they can get away with it and the supports aren't messing with the mid lane, then it's not a big deal. They're actually getting a lot out of it since they just have one extra person farming.
There'll be a little skirmish for the bottom rune. FNG going to take some Liquid Fire Harass, but he secures the double damage rune. He's probably going to skill Leech Seed now, and he gets Fog going for Ace, who flaps away to safety. There's no boots up on that tree. Why don't we see more trees go for boots nowadays? It was like the go-to build every game when PPD was playing it.
It is, but Leech Seed's just pretty weak at level 1 now. It got nerfed significantly.
Okay. Well, that would explain it then. For now, yeah, that's something we haven't talked about is Living Armor is not going to be effective this game. They have Liquid Fire, the Swarm, Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare, and Ion Shell, so...
Dual Breath.
Yeah, this tree could be pretty underwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, I generally...
Overgrowth is really good against Brewmaster, though.
Yeah. Well, I think really good Brewmasters will dispel it since it's AoE, but I actually haven't seen that yet. I don't know why.
Does it dispel it?
It should. I don't see why not. You can Manta out of it, so...
Yeah.
I figure you can.
I've seen Brewmat, like, especially in China, like, the teams will pick tree to counter Brew, but it just...
I actually don't...
Never dispelled.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Maybe it's just something people don't pick it out. That spell is criminally underutilized in general.
It is. I remember you could, like, dispel sprout trees in Dota 1.
Could you really?
Yeah. They were, like, summoned trees. So
yeah, they weren't, like, real, like, map trees, I guess.
Yeah, there's some wonky interactions with that. But all in all, very passive early game. This ward in the opponent's jungle will hinder their farm a decent amount, and Skywrath will be forced to do other things in that stead.
I do want to point out, Dendi is just wrecking this mid lane now. 18-4 on his Shadow Fiend, and he's zoning Arise out of the lane at this point. He's getting free farm. No real ganks as of yet, and, well, Fnatic maybe spotted out here. Concussive Shot will come through, but not too much they can do about that. At least not without backup. He is going to walk in to Come With Me, but he can just kite him over the tree line if need be, although he's now down in the river. Take a lot of harassment, and while that was happening, Dendi just solo killed the Brew. Oh, man.
triple race.
Yeah, just walked
Jeez,
up
he's
there.
level 6 now. He's level 6 4 minutes in. That's absurd.
He was free farming mid, but free farming mid and killing the brew are two very different things.
Yeah, Arise is actually a pretty good solo mid too. I'm surprised that he gave up first blood. I was watching Fnatic as well.
Yeah, that one's on me. But definitely didn't expect that to happen. Well, obviously a fantastic start for NaVi in that department, and they're doing pretty well elsewhere. In theory, you do look at Fnatic getting a bit more off the map running the jungle Darkseer, but if you're giving up kills to a solo mid Shadow Fiend, then that is not a good trade.
Yeah, I think the Skywrath should have tried to pressure him a little bit earlier. Yeah, they have the Treant Protector, but at the same time, you just can't let Shadow Fiend do whatever he wants. He's probably one of the worst heroes to leave alone in the solo one-on-one matchup, unless you have a heavy lane dominator.
Fnatic is still getting his levels off lane. He's been under some pressure, but you know, trying to shut down the Bat Rider is not easier said than done. That's for sure.
I wonder if it's going to be like a blink first post treads or Dendi.
He loves to even like I've seen him just go like boots blink, but yeah, he's already picked up the gloves of haste. So that definitely won't happen. And oh, he's gonna be sad now. No points of that. Can he TP out? Gets the burn. I think his corpse actually. No, it didn't make it to base.
He got punched by Darkseer.
Meanwhile, top lane, there's going to be more action onto Fnatic, who found a solo kill on the Scarlet Mage, but Hani looks to turn this one on him. He's got Sakuchi, no time lapse, has to be careful not to immolate, and this might be where the living armor turns it. Hani gonna, oh, close. He had the stick charges. Fnatic actually trapped now in the trees. They do get that much kill on the Shadow Fiend, and they're going to Bruce split mid. FNG doesn't have a point yet in Nature's Guise, and even if he did, that boulder toss more than enough to secure the kill.
And
so.
dispel that.
Yeah. I honestly, I feel like most games you don't even see Dispel used.
Except for Cyclone.
Yeah. Yeah, just for Cyclone.
So, well, that's a nice change of events for Mr. Panda.
Will this be a nice change of events for Fnatic? No, not really. Come with me stealing his rune again. He's been under the gun there. Well, despite the death, Dendi is still CSing well. And he may even go for that Midas. That's definitely a possibility. Did not complete his treads.
What is Vanscourt doing? I haven't really been watching that much, but there's no stacks available for Shadow Fiend or for Bat Rider, and he's only level 3, so he's not playing like super greedily either. But maybe he's just been messing with Ace the whole entire time. Ace level 3 himself.
Yeah, I haven't seen him towards mid. It's been the tree getting the runes bottom, so I can only imagine Vanscourt's just been pulling and sitting in the lane. He's not really rotated at all. Would like to see him with the TP to potentially protect that Shadow Fiend if they dive him. But hasn't picked one up just yet. In comes my favorite courier, Justin Bieber. Can't believe anyone. See, it's so bad it's good, man. I can't believe Valve made us change the name. Still sad about that.
Justin Bieber.
So Vos will dive past the tier 2. He finds a kill on the Jakiro. Now they turn on him. Hani Sakuchiing through and looking for the trade here. Living armor has been used, and Hani can't really do too much more from here on that hero. He'll try to turn to Vangscore instead. They're able to retreat out together. Still diving. He is level 7 now. Low on mana, but has 5 stick charges. Brain Sap. That'll bring Hani low, and Arise with no blink just can't get in too close. He'll try to scurry forward. Does Hani get a body block off? Vangscore. Still no magic stick, unfortunately. They may just be able to run him down. Another living armor in 4. It's not going to come in time. Ends up falling, and then Hani time-lapses out. While in the mid lane, Dendi is already pushed down the mid tier 1, and he's just casually farming at the tier 2. Completely out of control Shadow Fiend. 4.1k net worth already.
Yeah, Panda's forced to rotate off the lane to try and help this bottom tower, and the bottom tower is still under heavy pressure. Oh no, Fnatic.
Bit of trouble here for him. Ace will manage to catch him out, but he's also burning the dragon down. The bat trying to finish him off will fail in that, but came very close. Suddenly Dendi's just moving through the enemy woods. He's now picked up his Midas, going back for the treads. That's an 8-minute Midas treads and some gold in the bank to boot. Suddenly it's also Vangscore top lane. He's diving too. Welcome to Navi Dota. 4 kills for them, but just a whole lot of aggression this early on.
Yeah, Rise did do a good job of managing his gold too. He could have bought
FNG.
boots and TP.
It's going to be another Brew split just to kill off this tree. Not going to bother with that. Just claps him and the living armor won't help you at all. Nice kill for him, but a hasted Dendi marches in. He's looking for come with me. Surge is there. He's going to try and keep with him through the surge. Can he follow him? Will there be a fog juke up and down the ramp? Dendi's ready for it. He turns. He looks for the raise, and nope. Dendi, raise. Oh, he almost got outplayed completely by come with me. Does manage to get it off, and he'll scurry away to safety. No blink on Arise, so he'll be able to retreat. That was really well played by Come With Me, though. He almost managed to juke that.
Yeah, and this animation on the Raze is way different than the normal one. But,
Well,
yeah.
they changed it in general with the new remodel, right? It's not just the Arcana.
Yep. Brew closing in on Blink Dagger, and Ion Shell Panda is actually pretty good. The Ion Shell sticks onto Earth Panda, even after split, which is just massive damage, because that's usually the only one that is almost guaranteed survival.
Yeah, I guess the only downside is it's not particularly fast. But if you have the Boulder Toss and the Cyclone, you can usually stay
Hurl Boulder.
Don't hurl too hard. They do get their Blink on the Brew now, so Blink's up for a Rise. Mech. No, it's not a Mech for Company. He's going to go for the Midas. That Bone 7 build in play. Well, everyone playing a bit greedy on Fnatic. They ran the offlane Jakiro, but it feels like they've just stretched themselves a bit too thin. They've let the Shadow Fiend free farm. The Bristleback's getting a lot out of the safe lane. The Brew's been slowed down. 10-minute Blink is not terrible, but certainly not the fastest. And with Darkseer going to Midas, it's going to put more pressure on the rest of the team to carry the load.
Yeah, and Honey's... I mean, he's going for probably a Lincoln Sphere. It's decent versus Bane and Batrider, but it can still get procced by other spells, such as the Goo. And, I mean, he's not going to have any damage either, and they don't have, like, any minus armor on their team, no Bloodlust to augment his damage, and he's just going to be hitting like a wet noodle, especially versus a Treant Protector, too.
Yeah, it's... In theory, Go is really good against Lincoln Sphere, but it's more just... It's going to be a while before he really does anything. He's not farmed particularly well for a safe lane Weaver.
Well, he's had to move a lot,
yeah.
too.
And I feel like a lot of that's down to the greed. You know, running the jungle Darkseer, someone's got to be moving around to help the team, and a Brew with no Blink can't do it.
FNG and kind of in no man's land, about to get blinked on.
They're all trying to descend on this bottom lane, but Handi's going to back off, while meanwhile mid, that's where the other action happens as Rise blinks in, claps, and smacks down the tree. Another death for FNG. He's died, what, 3 times now? Yeah, 0 and 3.
At least it's not Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, they've kept Dendy well away. He's going to stick with the team. He's got Mask of Madness as well. Full YOLO Shadow Fiend build.
It owns towers.
It's also going to get him melted if they manage. Like, a Brewmaster crit is going to be like a third of his health easily.
Yeah, it's really scary versus Brewmaster. I don't really know how they plan on killing a Brewmaster before he splits, I guess.
Fiend's Grip, I guess.
Fiend's Grip and Batrider Ultimate. They probably have to use both.
The one nice thing about the Mask of Madness is I feel like it's less relevant with Shadow Fiend, but it does accelerate your farm a bit for things like Ancients. But it also, outside of that, he can just raise down creeps anyway, so it's a very risky build from Dendy, but he's certainly known for that style of play.
He has so much attack speed. Oh, are they going for a 2-man Roche?
Well, this
With
one
living armor?
They're going to let Bane tank it for a little bit. The thing is, Dendy can't... I don't think he could tank this himself.
They need living armor.
No, that's not going to happen. Well, if Roche ignores him, which is kind of the case right now, 5 heroes top lane for Fnatic, they seem oblivious to this. And with the living armor there, it's working out. It's actually a pretty fast Roshan, too.
Yeah, he already has 1 point of pressure with the Dark Lord, and then he just has so much attack speed right now. Talking about, like, what, 170 attack speed-ish?
The thing that's really nice about this is, like, Shadow Fiend you don't think of as a Roche hero. It's not like you see an Ursa on the enemy team and you're constantly scouting for it, or Lycan. I mean, he can Roche, but normally he doesn't sneak it this early. It's certainly not Radiant side.
Yeah, you never expect like a Bane and the Shadow Fiend to be doing it.
And Habosta's going to bait this one perfectly. A just picked up, they're going to jump onto him, but he's already got Buckler and Vanguard. Can they really afford to be committing for him? Doesn't seem like it. The lasso and Ace killing off the Twin-Headed Dragon. The tower went the way of the Jakiro, so they at least get the gold for that, but a Roshan and an Aegis and your Shadow Fiend, well worth it. And now the Mask of Madness should pay off.
We've only seen 1 Panda ultimate this game. That was very, very early on to kill the Treant Protector. They need to get more mileage out of the Brewmaster. You don't pick a Brewmaster to win fights 20 minutes in. You pick him to win from 5 to like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then you can continue to be a presence with your AC, Vlads, or even an Aghanims. But the thing is, the hero doesn't farm that great either. If you're not getting kills, then you just fall behind. Well, NaVi are feeling confident now, Ben. They're going to push through the top lane, and they'll also look to defend bottom. Phonic TPing there. Hani, come with me. Ace, all grouping up, but who leads the way for this squad? It's really just the Brew that can do it, and he's off farming mid.
Yeah, they have to have the Brew for this, and Phonic's just using delay tactics too. Blinking in, fire flying, and They don't have the tower siege. Sure, they have level 4 liquid fire, but no one to tank it.
This is like a pure pub Shadow Fiend, but now he's building a Shadow Blade, which did get improved in the latest patch of it, I believe. What was the change? Oh, the break damage was increased by 25. So not the biggest deal, but it's just a nice little buff.
Bristleback has his Crimson Guard too. So yeah, he seems a little squishy just by his items, but with Crimson Guard and with Living Armor and with Overgrowth, defensive sleeves, and all these hard disables with Bane Ultimate and Bat Rider Ultimate, they're going to have a hard time locking down, especially if Panda continues to play this passively.
Plus the Aegis. How much do you really want to throw out that Shadow Fiend, even if you kill him once? And the thing is, he's just melting towers right now. We'll double raise the wave, killing it off, and with a great Observer Ward, NaVi are confident to take this one. Fnatic respecting the Shadow Fiend early game. Seems like they're paying for it now. He's just a tower killing machine.
Oh, they dusted! He tried to immediately split out Van Score. My goodness.
He just tried to go in solo, huh?
Well, he went in with an Invis, and Van Score just randomly dusted and just immediately gripped him while he was trying to split. That was a fast reactions by Van Score.
Yeesh. I guess they were expecting the clap split and then TP everyone in. They had left 4 bottom during that time. That's a great play from NaVi. They must have seen the rune get picked up.
Yeah, they must have. It did not catch them by surprise at all.
Unless they thought the Weaver was just running in, but he's a much more difficult kill. Gonna wrap Dendy around now. Shadow Blade's online. Can he find a kill and come with me? Gotta come into range for a couple raises. Now he surges forward. Oh, come with me. You've gone the wrong way, my friend. You gotta surge the hell out of here. Look at those auto attacks from Dendy. Brings him down to half just from that. Now Arise will blink, clap, and split, but he's caught nobody with this. Fnatic able to blink out in time. And now the boulder toss from long range on the Vang Score, but he's kept alive. And
are people even taking any damage?
No, not really. That Crimson Guard doing some serious work against the Brew Split. Everybody forced back. Navi's still at full HP. The Darkseer down already. Macro Pyre's been expended. Still the Aegis stands. Crimson Guard too strong versus Brew and Weaver, it seems. And they're going to lose Ace now. Dendy gets aggressive. Double kill for Havost. Navi driven back and completely just overpowered here in these fights.
Dendy's just making them look silly.
That Crimson Guard did a lot of work too. Especially against like a hero like Weaver, who normally doesn't have the highest base damage, but just has multiple attacks. And a Panda really shuts them down. Yeah. Loving these item selections from Navi.
They just don't have that much damage. Generally, Jakiro and Skywrath will be your damage dealers, but they can't really lock anyone down just because the Shadow Fiend kills them in 2 or 3 hits.
Now, looks like they do want to jump in, but there's no Brew Split. There is a level 1 Darkseer ultimate. Unfortunately, he went for that second point in Surge and the max back, so he doesn't have it yet. Try to go in on Dendy, but he's got a Requiem. Will zone the rest out. They get back into an Ice Path, but right as it ends, didn't really do too much. Then Arise blinks and claps in. Good AoE damage. FNG going to drop here. Mavos still standing strong with Van Score aside. They'll have a fresh Shadow Fiend coming back to life, but he comes back to life inside of an Ice Path. Has to run out of here. Van Score, Dendy, and Havost all retreat. It was a 3 for 2 and an Aegis. Now, well, they're coming back into the fray. Dendy's going to finish him off and turn this one around.
Ouch.
And Navi just
raises.
Wreck him. 5 heroes dead. They'll take the first lane of Rex in 17 minutes. Man, they just got destroyed.
Dendy's out of control. They just didn't expend any resources to just keep him down at all. Yeah, they had the Darkseer jungle, but as you said, it doesn't really leave anyone else to roam around. Skywrath isn't going to be able to kill him that early. And they tried to get him to die with the Brewmaster with the Ion Shell, but it was just too little too late.
Man, you go back to the draft where they banned Arise's Magnus in the first phase, and you just got to wonder, like, would it have been different if he had gotten one of his signature heroes instead of this Brew?
Well, Magnus does not have an easy time versus the Shadow Fiend either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're probably more comfortable with it than the Brew.
I feel like the issue wasn't his laning. It was more just...
Well, you can't die to a solo Shadow Fiend.
Yeah,
that can't happen.
Okay, well, that wasn't it.
Maybe he underestimated Treant armor. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but then he was still at like 300 HP when Arise.
Oh, he's going in mid lane. He's got a face turn up. He's looking for an easy support kill. Probably about to find Rise here. It's only going to take 2 or 3 auto attacks. 2 auto attacks and a raise. That'll be it. Down the Skarath Mage goes. And
this is almost a Daedalus, too.
It's an 18-minute Daedalus, Mask of Madness, Midas Shadowblade treads. And a bottle to boot. I mean, from here, it's just like a Satanic and your gravy. Well, not Satanic, I guess, since he's Mask of Madness, but I don't know. Maybe an MKB for the Brewmaster. There's more damage for Dendy.
BKB is a safe build.
Sleeper Rise. Rip will follow, and the struggle continues for our Brewmaster. Dealt with by NaVi. This is a rough game for Fnatic. Nothing's going their way. Team fights are inadequate. The Roche sneak wasn't scouted. They gave up a first blood mid on the Brew 1v1 against Shadow Fiend. They didn't shut down the Bat Rider. The Darkseer in the jungle hasn't really done anything yet. Can they hold the second lane of Rax, Ben? If not, it's pretty much GG.
Yeah, it was looking okay for them at the start, but they haven't really been able to coordinate anything and get any mileage out of Panda Ultimate.
And the problem is this push is coming a lot faster. They don't have as much time to sit back and wait for a good opening. The Bat Rider's going to jump in, goes for the lasso, finds Come With Me, pulls him deep back behind enemy lines. The raise from Denny will miss. That gets up the back wall. And the Shadow Fiend Illusion will be fairly scary, but he Requiems to clear those off and cover the path of retreat as Arise joins the fight, blinks in, claps, and doesn't want to split just yet. Meanwhile, Havost has gone full aggression mode into the tier 4 towers. Now the Overgrowth comes through, holding the Brew in place. No Dispel being used. Well, the Overgrowth will wear off. Havost now jumping back in onto Ace. Will he commit to this one? Yes, he will. Trying to finish off that Jakiro. NaVi just committed to the tier 4s, but it's Dendy who's focused on objectives, taking out the Rax during this time. Fnatic will die, but he gives his life for the greater good. Well, maybe he won't even die. The Weaver unable to finish him off, still chasing for it, but he's cliff skating. Now he blinks to the south. They're going to Sleeper Rise and bring him down again. Dendy gets the kill there as well. NaVi looking like they might be back in form here. They're not just handling Fnatic, they are absolutely swamping them. Dendy will get caught in a nice path here. Classic overextension, but this time it's after the game is pretty much in the bag. Really not much Fnatic can do from here.
He was hoping for double crit super life steal.
I think he's just having a bit of fun here. He's Come With Me is in pursuit, but Vangscore's invis with a gem. Nature's guys to cover him, and they're gonna Firefly once again. Bat Rider retreating out to the north. FNG is also invis. Vangscore might even get a courier here. No, that courier's going back to base. I don't even know where Fnatic go.
This seems like
Ace. He's been pursued out, found by the Bane.
This seems like a pub game.
It really does. Especially the Dendy Shadow Fiend build. The kind of chaotic team fights.
The lack of coordination from Fnatic.
Just some of the unfortunate things, like the Brew walking into a random dust. It's like the type of thing that you just, you know, it's like, oh my god, idiot Brew. It's not. It's like, how would you expect that to happen?
Poor Eyes.
It's just a very random game, but good random. That's where NaVi thrives. And they're now going to find Come With Me. They'll lasso him, pull him back, straight into Vangscore and Havost. Another easy kill for NaVi. Yeah, with this many lanes down, you can't leave your base against the Bat. It's honestly, I'm a little surprised they haven't GG'd out, but we'll see if they can fight on here. Hani has picked up a Desolator. He opted to skip that Lincoln's, but that leaves him with 950 health against a Bat and a Bane. That's Struggle City.
Yeah, they're just lacking, severely lacking in damage. They have no way really to take on the Bristleback. He has like 2,000 HP. He has 20 armor. He has Crimson Guard active.
They have a way to take down a Havost. They just have to bait him into diving the tier 4 towers with a fountain. That's the solution to Havost. Just tantalizing. They'll macro pyre him. They set up the ice pad, but he gets force staffed out of that whole combo. A bunch of spells basically wasted. Even a Brewmaster split used, but it's so much commitment for the Bristle, who's still healthy. They're going to bring the tree down, but it's right into Overgrowth opportunities if he wants to use them. Oh, he just did, but didn't really accomplish too much with that. And Havost popping the quills. Fnatic now blinking out. He's still at half HP. They're absolutely fine through this, and now Dendy's going to find that Requiem. Does he look to unload? Go for another takedown here? No, he's just right-clicking heroes to death. 3 dead. Arise probably next. Oh, no, maybe Come With Me. Gets back in, continues with the auto attacks, and finishes him off too. 4 to fall. Fnatic, gluttons for punishment, will finally GG out. I'll pause it as they do. Game over, man.
Okay, Rise.
Game over.
Okay, Rise.
No mercy. Too easy for NaVi. 2-0 now on the summit too.
That was a stomp fest. No point in analyzing that.
It's just ugly. Ugly.
Brutal.
And painful.
Poor Rise. He's also really good with OD. But Panda does not seem to be his strong suit.
Nothing else to analyze, like you said. That's brutal, man.
Pub. That's definitely the closest to a pub game that I've seen a competitive game resemble.
Well, that wraps up Europe for the day, Ben. Any last words here before we shut it down for the night? For the day, whatever?
Glad to be back casting. The
Yeah.
EU games are better than America.
You
maybe,
say that, but this
maybe not this one. Maybe not this one.
on average, they should be better. And we haven't seen some of the strongest looking teams play like Secret, for example. So, more of that to come, guys. The Summit America, I believe, continues today as well. And your friendly neighborhood coddle guy will be bringing you all that later today, but that wraps up Europe.
Go enjoy the patch.
Cheers.
Patch.
Fuck Terrorblade.